I am not against something called the community, the LGBTQA plus 2A. I don't care what the fuck it is. But whenever, every single time, when I have talked to people who support LGBT, they say, some idiots say they are gender fluid, some shits like that. But there are some minority people who say that I support LGBT because it spread kindness and it spread acceptance. We don't discriminate any kind of people, or we accept every type of people. Okay, you accept every type of people. Okay, fine. Why are you trying to proselytize these things? Why are you trying to proselytize people into support your community, support your idea? Why are you proselytizing it? Why are you spreading the thought of it? Why does an LGBT exist when there are religions and things, there are communities, any number of communities who are spreading these same ideas: kindness, acceptance, and non-discrimination? Why do you even exist? This is a genuine question I have to ask to people. And castrate him. Why do you want to do that? If you identify yourself as a woman, okay, fine. Why do you want to castrate and inject hormones, inject estrogens into a man's body? Or why do you want to inject testosterone into a woman's body? This allows you to not reproduce. And that will end your generation. And imagine how would your ancestors feel? They would be crying up at the sky. And you're here castrating yourself, cutting your penis off, injecting estrogens, and growing your breasts, and looking for a man. What, bro? What's the problem with you? If you want to identify as a woman, okay, fine. Go provide what a woman provides. Go do the same thing what a woman does. Provide the same value what a woman provides to society, what a woman provides to the world. Fine, it's okay. But castration is something very serious. You are cutting off an organ. Have you ever thought of it? And of course, at the end of the talks, it's all your choice. Everything, it's all your choice. Fine. But have you thought about before making a choice? I don't think so. If you would have, you would not be castrating yourself. If you believe in God, I say that if you are someone who is castrating, you are directly denying the words and the decisions of God. Imagine that. And these kind of people, they identify themselves as a woman, or if a woman identifies themselves as a man, they just identify themselves like that and doesn't provide the same thing as what they identify as. If a man identifies as a woman, that man doesn't provide any value what a woman provides to society or what a woman provides to the world. And if a woman becomes a man and identifies as a man, that woman doesn't provide any value what a man provides to the world. They don't. They just identify themselves like that and live a life like that. It doesn't provide anything. And these things have been happening at more than 20 years. But the formation of a community, the formation of this very large community have been happening only for the last 5 or 6 years. Because this have penetrated to society, to the people's mind, because we had a hole inside our head. And they just found it and they just penetrated into that. I can say that the testosterone levels have gone down to 80%. I've mentioned this in a video before. So exactly that is a whole. And if the testosterone goes down, the ability to react, ability to fight, ability to form a unit and fight against the evil will be just fading out. And 80% down means something very drastic and shows some visible change, and that is whole. And through that hole, they just formed a community and just penetrated to that. And here we are. Yesterday, I was seeing a news, people debating on should we need an LGBT community or we don't need anything like that. Because the Indian Supreme Court have decided to not allow the LGBT community to exist. And they have banned the Homo Marriage Act. And there are people in South India, they just protest. They just hold their flags, hold their rainbow flags, and they just protest. They need this community, they need their gender fluid identity. They don't know what their gender is and they're just protesting. What the hell is this? Where have the society gone? Where have the people gone? The ability to think clearly have vanished, just faded away from people. And here we are in a world full of idiots surrounded by us. There are very minority of people who have decided to not react. It's not because they are afraid, they just think clearly and they are wise enough to not react. Because if they react, the whole problem, the whole vision, the whole point will be on them. Because I've seen a video recently that somebody was speaking against the LGBT community, and someone inside the LGBT, what the fuck is this LGBT community, reacted to that video by telling the person that there are gender pay gaps, there are increasing rents and all those things, and you're just worried about my gender. What kind of reaction is that? Can you imagine me asking a question to you, what is 1 plus 1? And you answering me, there are 4 cars out there and 2 bikes out there going around east and west. You're not answering my question, you're answering to some question that has been built inside your mind and just spitting it out, which you don't realize is some nonsense. See, the testosterone levels and the community's penetration have damaged the ability of people to think clearly. So they have lost the ability to think. Of course they can think, but the ability to think clearly, ability to think wise, I've lost. And this community is literally ruining our kids. Because I have saw a book which is colored in rainbow. Of course it is rainbow. And the book's title is "This Book is Gay." And something I have to point out is, there is a chapter in that book, How to Argue Against Muslims. And that thing says, some hadiths which have been brought by not a human, I guess. That is of course not brought by a human, because that something like that hadith doesn't exist. And that paragraph literally says that Allah has said this. And below it mentioned it's a hadith. Hadith is not something that Allah mentioned. Yes. Hadith is something that people around, or the people who follows Prophet have brought That prophet have done this, prophet have said this, prophet have asked this, prophet have questioned this, prophet have did this. Those things are called hadith. What Allah have directly said to prophet and what prophet have said to people, which is by the command of Allah, is mentioned in Quran. And hadith and Quran is literally different things. And there is a book, and it mentioned itself as a gay, telling that there is something that is mentioned by Allah, which is said by the Prophet in Hadith. Man, see where these things are taking you. And about these things, I just heard the news. There is something available in the Play Store, a type of Quran. I'm saying it's a type of Quran because it is not Quran. It is a rewritten version of Quran. Quran is something that is never edited. From the last 1400 years, it is never edited from a single word or a single letter. It is not edited. It is how it is, like Allah provided the world. From 1400 years. And there is something, a rewritten version of Quran in Play Store. Bullshit. If you can think clearly, as I've mentioned before, not like the people who follow the LGBT and stuff, shit like that. If you can think clearly, you'll know where these things are taking you, where the government is taking you, where the government is making a matrix for you and is putting you inside that. And all you have to do is resist and escape the matrix. That's all you have to do. Stay out.